Good evening. The news summary for this Wednesday, 31st of January. L'Union démocratique sicilioise has announced the nomination of Anne-Simone Bistoquet as a proportionally elected member of the National Assembly of Seychelles to replace Ms. Rosie Bistoquet, who passed away in December last year. Notice of the nomination has been given to the Speaker of the National Assembly in accordance with Article 81.4 of the Constitution of Seychelles. Ms. Anne Bistoquet has a legal background and is presently completing her studies for a law degree at the University of Seychelles. She has held the position of a senior law clerk in the office of the Registrar of the Supreme Court for the last 6 years, where she has acquired valuable understanding and experience of our judicial system. The Sri Lankan vessel carrying 6 crew members that was hijacked by alleged 3 Somalian pirates arrived at the Seychelles Coast Guard escorted by the Coast Guard vessel Topaz this morning. The Internal Affairs Minister, the Sri Lankan High Commissioner to Seychelles, the Brigadier and Chief of Staff of the Seychelles Defence Forces, and the Commissioner and Deputy Commissioner of Police were present at the Coast Guard base for the arrival of the vessel and the crew. As was mentioned, the Seychelles Coast Guard vessel Topaz intercepted the hijacked Sri Lankan vessel in the Seychelles waters after notification from the Sri Lankan authority. The alleged Somali pirates were handed over to the Seychelles police force for prosecution upon arrival at the Coast Guard base. The Perception Corruption Index Seychelles has received, I'll read this again. The Perception Corruption Index that Seychelles has received represents an achievement not only for the Anti-Corruption Commission, the ACCS, but for the country. The ACCS Deputy Commissioner, Denis Joubert, made the statement after Transparency International gave Seychelles a score of 70 on 100 and a 20th position ranking on the Corruption Perception Index worldwide.
One of the sources that has been used is the economic intelligence measures, where they measure the amount of prevention that the country is doing, or the policies that each ministries or sectors, what they are putting in place to ensure that corruption does not occur. But it's not only an achievement for Anti-Corruption Commission, it's an achievement for the country. Because based on the resources, the informations are gathered from different ministries, not from the Anti-Corruption Commission. These people have to take this in mind. It does not come from the Anti-Corruption Commission, it comes from the different organizations. And if we look at all the many ministries, they are putting in place measures and procedures to ensure that corruption does not occur and that our economy remains stable and it is resistant against corruption.
And Transparency Initiative Seychelles TIS says it is somewhat satisfied with Seychelles' rating on the Corruption Perception Index, which Transparency published yesterday. Audrey Annette, a member of the Transparency Initiative Seychelles, says that Seychelles' position recognizes the many initiatives taken last year, for example, the Coalition for Integrity and the Initiative of Open Government, amongst others, whereby Seychelles has made many commitments to meet the required standards.
Based on what we have seen, it is a good report for Seychelles because we've improved on our score and also on our rating. However, we have to take this relative to how other countries have done. And there are countries that have deteriorated or they've remained stagnant or they've deteriorated on the rating, particularly on the aspect of their justice system. So for me, this is a good rating for Seychelles. It's an indication that we're on the right track on certain areas. However, there is a lot of room for improvement, particularly around putting in place the right legal framework and the right laws that would permit us, for example, to report and to take the necessary action when it comes to corruption.
The Department of Agriculture has started to sell its second batch of animal feed. The consignment was originally expected to arrive in November last year, but due to a shipping delay, it only arrived earlier this month. There are several types of feed for both layer chickens and pigs for different stages of development. They are expecting to receive a batch of feed for cattle later this week. The Department of Agriculture has ensured with the supplier in South Africa that this batch of feed does not have any growth hormones or antibiotics in the mix. The Seychelles Interfaith Council, SIFCO, is organizing a Harmony Week, which is celebrated every year in the first week of February across the world. The World Interfaith Harmony Week was conceived to promote a culture of peace and non-violence, and it was first proposed by King Abdullah II of Jordan at the United Nations in 2010. The objective is to promote harmony between all people, regardless of their faith. The main activity that is being organized as part of the Interfaith Harmony Week will take place on Saturday, February the 3rd at the Sentier Bois Père, which is located behind the Domus at the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception in Victoria. The trail was inaugurated in September last year following rehabilitation works that were carried out there. With this, we come to the end of this news summary. We'll be back at 8 with the news in Creole. Have a very pleasant evening.